The ones that you can buy from the secondary market, there's already a track record. You can already see the development that's there, the partnerships that has been built. Like even for Sandbox, you have Snoop Dogg is there, you have The Walking Dead that's there, you have Smurfs that's there. There's a lot of brand building already. So maybe a rule of thumb, if they're just looking at it for the first time, look at who are the investors that are backing up that particular project that's very, very new. If there's a lot of institutional investors that's there, those large institutions would vet the project very, very well. People who buy the land will build something on it. Businesses, so the areas where the concerts will be. So if you don't have land in Sandbox, you will be renting from someone who actually owns it if you want to build your business there. So for example, I'm Nike. I'm building my store there for people to actually come in, check the shoes, check the clothes, and buy there. If I'm Nike and I don't have land, I will have to rent that from someone else who actually has land. So it's in the best interest also of whoever's developing it to make the land scarce, because if they just keep on making, then everyone also will just keep on, it will dilute the value of the land that's there.
Okay, Marvin, I think I'm starting to get clarity. I think what you mentioned, that the metaverse is so broad, helps. Because you just cannot be an expert in the whole metaverse. So you just have to choose first. For example, for me, I just want to focus on the real estate part of metaverse. What do I do? From a traditional person, do we go to a Amazon.com or an eBay? Do we go to a website to buy?
As what I mentioned earlier, the website is OpenSea. You just buy the land there. So if you want to focus on the metaverse and then the land inside a particular project, then you just buy the land. You just buy that particular NFT that's in the metaverse. So the land also is also an NFT. Everything's NFT. People just think that NFT is art. NFT is not art. NFT is tokenized ownership, meaning if you buy that NFT that points that it's a land in the metaverse, that actually means that this plot of land is owned by this particular wallet and it's already there forever. You're asking about where can they get it. There are different projects also that are in the Polygon network. There are different metaverses also in other blockchains. It's just that I know Sandbox more. That's where I spent a lot of time and attention on. I know Decentraland's also as good. It's just that I know Sandbox more than Decentraland. But those two are, in my opinion, one of the top two biggest projects also in this space. Two things. When you're buying from OpenSea, so it's not OpenSea.com, it's OpenSea.io. When you're buying in OpenSea, that's already the secondary market. So if you want to buy something that other people own already, that's what you're asking, the Amazon or the eBay of it. That's OpenSea. But if you want to buy it firsthand, they call it minting. If you want to mint it, if you're the first owner of it, you can go to the website of the project that you actually want to buy. So you can people can find a new project that's coming out maybe for the first time, that they're producing their first metaverse, and they're also selling the land inside of it. They can go to that particular project and then mint it there directly. I mentioned about Sandbox and Decentraland in OpenSea because they've been out already for a very, very long time. I have friends, I think, who minted it below 0.2 ETH, and then they bought 20 or 30 pieces of land, and now it's 3-4 ETH already. So and they have multiples of it also.
And people are buying it in the secondary market na.
Yeah, people are buying in the secondary market because as what we talked about earlier, there's scarcity. Once it's out, unless they issue a new one, you won't be able to get any more and just buy it from the secondary and just get it from the secondary market.
At this point, 2022, do we still buy direct from the mint? Is there opportunities like that?
I think there will be, especially for newer projects, that they can buy. It's just that if you go for a newer one, you have to spend more research and time on it you have to look at the merits of the project, because there's a greater degree of risk also, since you're getting something that's new. That's why the newer the project, I guess the greater the upside also, but the greater the risk that it could possibly not have any traction as well. Unlike the ones that you can buy from the secondary market, there's already a track record. You can already see the development that's there, the partnerships that has been built. Like even for Sandbox, you have Snoop Dogg is there, you have The Walking Dead that's there, you have Smurfs that's there. There's a lot of brand building already. So maybe a rule of thumb, if they're just looking at it for the first time, look at who are the investors that are backing up that particular project that's very, very new. If there's a lot of institutional investors that's there, those large institutions would vet the project very, very well. It doesn't mean that automatically, if large institutions would come in and buy, you won't lose money, but it means that if there's more people looking at it, and then there's a lot of smart people looking at it, and then they place money into it, it somehow minimizes the risk. So look at who the institutional investors are, then look at also who the brand partnerships are. Like Nike or Adidas, they won't partner with a metaverse that really won't do very, very well, because they have also their reputation and their brand that they only want to partner in with projects that they know might give them a better chance to succeed as well. But this is a very, very long answer to your question, but to answer your question, yes, there will be a lot, and I think there will be more to come. And in the NFT PFP space, one of the biggest projects right now is Bored Ape Yacht Club. And because of that, there's so many ape-like NFTs that are trying to mimic Bored Ape Yacht Club. Then there's another project called Doodles. It has done very, very well. The lowest price you can get it by the time we're recording this, it's around 10 ETH na, I think. And because of the success of Doodles, there's a lot of newer NFT projects also that are trying to somehow mimic the design of how Doodles is. So if that's happening in the NFT space, expect that there will be other metaverse-related projects that will try to get a piece of the pie as well. I heard, I really haven't looked at it yet, but Disney is also building their own metaverse. And that will make it interesting, because when the large brands and the large companies start making their own metaverses also, Facebook is making its own metaverse as well, there will be bigger competition. And when you look at it also, the newer ones, or at least the ones that don't have brand recognition, it will be harder for them to somehow get money into it. In the same way, in the NFT space, there's a lot of NFTs right now that's not doing so well. Out of probably the millions of NFTs that's out there, it's only maybe the top 3% doing very, very well.
There are many metaverses, but maybe only a few will really progress and develop. And a big part of it is who are the partners behind it, is what big brands are behind it. So I'm starting to get that part now. Thank you. And you mentioned a lot about research, Marvin, about doing your research. What does research look like? How do you research metaverse? Do you just go to Google? Do you go to Microsoft, CNBC?
My style is boring. I read the roadmaps, I read the white papers, or so even for Bitcoin, that one of the things that gave me the conviction for it was I read the white paper. I read what was it actually about. When Carl D would talk to me and he would mention a lot of YouTube channels, I don't even know those YouTube channels, because I may make videos in YouTube, but I don't want a lot of those channels to influence the way I would buy or invest. So my suggestion, read the roadmaps of the projects that we want to enter into. Above and beyond reading the roadmaps, look at what the project is all about, how they're gonna make money, who are the people behind it. Because especially if they're buying something that's new, essentially a roadmap and a white paper is just a PDF file. What gives it value is how the people behind it will execute on that roadmap. So that's one way to look at it. But second, my approach to this, Carl D, is like a startup. You buy 10, 8 may probably fail. One will be okay, but the last one will be very, very good, and it will compensate for the other 8 that won't do well. So it's number one, learning more about the project, but also knowing that numerically speaking and historically speaking, there's a big chance that a lot of those will actually fail. So that's how I approach it. That's why it's very, very important that when you invest per allocation of token or crypto or NFT that you want to buy, it should always be positioned in the amount that if that position goes to zero, you're okay. I'm a very, very big fan of splitting everything into different wallets, different sizes, different allocations, and then always leaving an amount of stable coins there also, so that you're not scared when corrections would happen.
That's very helpful, Marvin, for newbies like us, no? Because you just mentioned that you make 10 investments and maybe 8 will go down.
If what you're betting on is not Bitcoin
Yeah.
or Ethereum or the ones that are stable, at the end of the day, when you look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, they won't go to zero. They won't go to zero. But for newer projects, there's a big chance that it would happen. It would happen. And looking at that mentality, looking at it from a startup mentality, also that there's a chance you invest in a game. The founders could be really, really good. The game could be really, really good. But because there's so much competition, no one plays the game or no one really likes the game. It may not get any traction and the value of your token goes to zero. So, but if all of the 10 do really, really well, then jackpot. But if it doesn't, and historically speaking, there's a big chance it will be. There's a big chance it will be. So at least I won't be sad. What I'll generally do is, if I have $10, I'm not putting that $10 into one. I'm dividing it, knowing that there's a big chance that if I put that 10 into one, if it does well, very, very good. But I don't know among the 10 which will do well. So all I can do is, out of the numerous projects that's out there, filter it to the best of my research and knowledge and capabilities, and then whatever's left, I diversify with that. It doesn't have to be 10. It can be 4, it can be 5, it can be 6. But the logic there is, for example, you have full conviction on 4, you invest in the 4. It doesn't make sense if you have full conviction in 4, you buy 10 just so it becomes 10. So the logic is, you find something that you have full conviction in, but knowing that even if you have full conviction with that, you can still make a mistake. You spread it and diversify. What's nice about it is you can go anywhere in the world and you still own that plot of land. So tips for people who are entering, always look at it as you can actually start as early as you can, because the cost to come in is not as expensive as compared to buying traditional real estate. You don't need to have a lot of credit.